And welcome back, everybody. Slim Slam and the Bandwagon fan back after 1 week of bereavement leave. I'm Slim, he's Slam, and to my left, that is the Bandwagon fan. As always, folks, proudly brought to you by the Jersey Cartel over on Facebook and JRV Electrical. Boys, how are we?
Panthers.
Yep, he's on board with Panthers these days. Slammy, Schnazzy even.
You go for a week, and you come back and you get us confused.
So the similarities aren't really there. I can appreciate you'd be let down by that one.
I would be big time.
Tonight, boys, we're back. Week 3 review shows. What we're going to jump into tonight. Straight off the rip, I guess. Carolina at Houston.
Yep, and I was just looking at myself in the mirror, Blaze, and I feel like I look like Greg Olsen with this beanie on.
Yeah, Greg
He's
Olsen.
not bad in the booth, by the way, as a commentator.
He's all right in the booth.
I like him.
Oh, that's a nice segue too.
Isn't it? Yeah, it was kind of clean. Carolina came up trumps here, 24-9. No real surprises here.
Not for me, Blaze.
Playing the lowly Texans.
Not for me. I knew it.
Schnazzy, do you want to take us through your main takeaways here, mate?
My main takeaways from this game is Davis Mills.
And Houston suck.
Houston suck. Houston are the Houston we thought they were going to be pre-week 1.
Yeah.
And I think we're all looking at week 1 now, 3 weeks in, going, week 1 was just a blimp.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take much away from it. Like,
Same
the
as
Steelers beat the Bills, for example. Look how the Steelers are going now.
Same as we did last year.
But my biggest takeaway going out of this and looking forward is the C-Mac injury, because when he got injured, that whole offense looked completely different and it looked underwhelming.
And J.C. Horn got injured as well. Their first round cornerback draft pick, like pick 10, I reckon he was.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll be a bit flat there.
But
they traded for one today as well.
Yeah.
Actually.
So more the combination of throwing to Moore and then having C-Mac come out of the backfield to start the game, it looked unreal, and we thought, geez, like they're going to score way more than 24 here.
Yeah.
C-Mac looked like he was on for a huge day. Pings a hammy, and then the game just goes to water from there, and not much else happened after that, Slammer.
It did. It was a bit lackluster after that, wasn't it?
There's not heaps to look into here. You
Nah.
might just move straight along, I reckon.
Yeah.
The Chargers... I don't even want to talk about this, Slam, but the Chargers did get the chocolates over Kansas City in Kansas City. It was 30-24. Herbert and Mahomes went head-to-head. And really, those turnovers early for me kind of set the tone for what was going to be a really frustrating day for us.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys, I got up at 2:30 to watch this.
Yeah.
It was pretty flat that I had by about 3:06 because we'd had 3 drives and we turned the ball over 3 times.
Yeah.
And to be fair, actually got back to 24. We lost this 24-30, and I don't know if you saw it, how the game ended, but there was a Hail Mary, and Travis Kelce was probably about a yard away from the ball and got tackled to the ground without touching the ball, nothing at all. Now, I know it's a bit ticky-tacky, but like you can't afford to just tackle a bloke without him touching the football.
I mean, you can't, but the biggest thing that I took away from this game was in week 1, the bloke to my right would not shut up about God's gift, a.k.a. Tyreek Hill. And what's he done since?
Absolutely.
5 catches for 56 yards in the weekend, gets double-teamed in week 2, does absolutely nothing. I'm looking at this team now, and if Kelsey's not getting the ball and you're double-teaming Tyreek, that might be the way to shut down this offense.
There's a real...
I'm not worried.
There's a red-hot concern in Tyreek Hill's drop-off from week 1, obviously, in the last couple of weeks. As you quite rightly say, a couple of double teams. But that's probably born from something we raised in the preseason about the fact they didn't have a really strong number 2 to threaten.
No, we have said that. But like really, Blaze, like what did we lose this week by 6? Lost last week, I can't even remember what did we lose by. Not very much.
It was not much, yeah.
No, and we should have had a chip shot field goal.
I think
at the end.
it's like 3 points in the
And
end or
like
something.
we've turned the ball over here 4 times against a good Chargers team, and we've only just lost by 6.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely not crisis time. It's not panic stations. Picked up Josh Gordon in the week. He'll probably play a part at some point this year, which might be all right if he can.
Probably for a week or 2.
If he can stay
on the commissioner's list again.
stay off the commissioner's list. So.
I think if I look like being a neutral fan here, Kansas City, amongst a lot of teams' defenses, looks very poor.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's fair.
And they have that no wide receiver too, like we pointed out. But what's coming back to bite Kansas City a bit is the turnovers. And a bit of it is Mahomes trying to do a bit too much. And in previous years, those plays have come off.
Yeah.
And they're just starting not to come off so much. So it's a little bit of a concerning trend.
4's an anomaly. You're not going to get 4 turnovers weekly, are you?
No, you're not going to. But they had a couple of turnovers last week after not having any in September under his reign.
Yeah.
And
I know what you mean.
Going back to week 1 as well, if you lose to Cleveland, you're 0-3.
Yeah, but we didn't lose to Cleveland.
I mean, you still won that game, but you look at that and it's like
close.
they're not.
Yeah.
You're not dominating teams like you're expected to.
But also, like, they've played the Chargers, the Ravens, and the Browns, who are probably 3 of the best 4 or 5 AFC teams.
Oh,
So the
doubt.
run from here, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if by week 10 we're talking about them and they're 8-2.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
but
be
you still have that
surprising.
question mark come week 10 that you haven't beat the good teams.
Correct.
I
And
just don't think it's anything.
that
to
draw
worry
does
about.
that draw does significantly open up for the Chiefs in terms of the strength of schedule
Yeah.
towards the back end
Oh,
of the year.
100%. As I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how worried am I about the Chiefs season? 0.02.
Yeah.
Not worried at all. They'll still make the playoffs and they'll still be at the point end of the
Tell you
season.
what, when we get to the preview show though, if they come up against the Eagles next week and go down, then there'll be some concern.
Oh, then I'll be ready. Then I'll be ready to lose.
We'll probably
it
have to have
close.
another week off.
that would be serious.
Slammer would have gone head first off the roof.
That would be serious bereavement there. We'd be mourning one of our own in the booth. The Indianapolis Colts went into Tennessee, and Tennessee got the job done here. Kind of mentioned to you, Chucky, off air just before about maybe the Colts making a case for the most disappointing start to the year so far.
Yeah, 0-3. It's
Yeah.
not good, is it? And let's be honest, Tennessee didn't play overly well
No,
in this game
not at
either.
all.
125-16, but they had 3 turnovers of their own in this one as well. So probably should have been worse for Indy than it actually was.
Yeah, I don't know. Colts one of the teams that we just hyped up to be too much to be one of the best teams. Like we weren't preseason hype teams.
Did Wentz actually play on the weekend though?
Yeah, Wentz played.
Did
Only 34 attempts, only 19 completions. They're missing Darius Leonard on defense, who's obviously the key to them, one of the leaders on defense. I mean, Wentz is, he does those good plays, then looks like he's doing too much sometimes. But, I think we all expected the result to go this way, going into Tennessee, who have sort of bounced back from that week 1 game. So no surprises for me in this one.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much the key takeaway there. And Tennessee kind
I
of
think
roll
so.
on after an early blip. They're starting to look a bit, as the turnovers kind of kept this one closer than it probably should have been or could have been in the end. But they're starting to figure it out. That play action game is starting to come back to the front, and Derrick Henry's starting to motor a little bit. This one's going to take you about the whole of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Atlanta at New York, the Giants variety. 17-14 victors here. The Falcons get the job done in what was probably the most uneventful game I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one though, was it, Blaze?
No.
Not overly exciting. Kyle Pitts just had the 2 catches this weekend. He hasn't exactly exploded out
No.
of the
I
blocks,
think
has
Ridley
he?
only had the 6 catches too.
Yeah, he had 6
Yeah.
for 61. And it's not as if the Giants' defense is that suffering that you can't get anything on them. No.
I think the concern for mine here is on the back of their week 2 performance, we expected bigger and better things out of the Giants. We thought the Giants were comfortably the better side against the football team.
Yep.
Managed to lose it, and we thought rolling in at home, playing Atlanta, who haven't been too much chopped this year, you should get the win. So it's very disappointing for their fans, and probably writing's almost on the wall for their season.
Yeah, 0-3 doesn't look too flash.
No, not in that division, as Dallas seemed to be, really starting to run away with it a little bit.
Away with it a little
Yep.
bit, aren't they?
Cincinnati, probably the big upset for mine. Just maybe in terms of the
At
actual
Pittsburgh?
at Pittsburgh, the spread here. Cincinnati 24, Pittsburgh a measly 10. Red alert here, I think, for Pittsburgh fans. Big Ben really starting to struggle. Najee Harris played a really strong
So what
strong
was the stat you
game.
had
but
on that before?
he's targeted 19 times for 16 receptions. That's through the air as the running back. So, that's
He had a huge fantasy day.
it's somewhat concerning from what me and Schnars were chatting about. Is that by virtue of Big Ben being
That he's
reluctant?
old and broken and can't throw,
and throwing it
100%.
downfield. And I think
This is
that's
what I said. What did I have him at? 5 wins? 6 wins?
you had him right
And
on.
I think I've nailed it.
You're going to pat yourself on the back
I
for that one.
seriously think I've
You might
nailed
be
it.
overs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I seriously think I've nailed it. I had them bottom of the division. They're going to be bottom of the division the way they're going.
Yeah.
Especially if they lose the return one at Cincinnati, they're going to be in even more trouble.
The most interesting part of this, and it's probably not even the game, it's probably the Pittsburgh franchise in general. Since Mike Tomlin's been coaching since 2007, they haven't gone
Never
under
gone
500.
Yeah.
And they're looking like they're going to be well under 500 this
comfortably.
year.
You know what's the worst part for them? I was saying this to Davo the other day on the phone because he was like, I think
Diehard
Yeah.
Pittsburgh fan.
he's like, I think you might have nailed it. He wasn't happy about it in the preseason, but yeah. And I said, say they bottom out, say they win 3 or 4 games. The Jets and the Jags are still going to be worse than them, but they're not going to be taking a quarterback. The problem is there is no standout quarterback in this next draft.
Yeah.
So at best they're taking Spencer Rattler, who was booed in his own stadium on the weekend playing for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, right? And I think as well, so their backup quarterback. So if they go on a skid and lose 6 of the next 8, you bench quarterbacks. You've got Mason Rudolph, and you know what you're going to get out of him because he had the season. Was it 2 years ago when
Assault with a deadly weapon? Is that
when
what
he got
you're gonna
assaulted?
get
Yeah. And then you back at your third string is Dwayne Haskins or Trashkins as we like to call
Trash
it.
cans, yes, baby.
But I mean, you don't have much depth there at the minute. You can
I'd almost just let Haskins go, Give him a go.
He's sitting as their third stringer on their depth chart.
I know,
which
but
is just-
they know what they're going to get out of Rudolph. And Big Ben's clearly not up to it, can't hack it.
Something a little bit right field coming your way.
Yeah?
Miami have been the perennial front runner for Deshaun Watson's services.
Yeah.
I think, does Pittsburgh start to
I don't think they would.
encroach in that kind of conversation?
Pittsburgh are very well known, run by Art Rooney, I think it is, and like they don't take on that sort of stuff. They wouldn't go anywhere near.
They're
it.
very black and white, straight down the middle.
Yeah, that's why.
Hard to say,
They've
got a lot of receivers in that
next
room.
5 games. Packers, Broncos, Seahawks, Browns, and then the lowly Bears. But there's a fair chance they're only winning one of those if they beat the Bears.
If the Bears don't figure their shit out.
Yeah.
For sure. It's
be ugly.
Like we said off the top, it's a tough time to be Pittsburgh.
It is. I mean, the hard part is they've got a good receiving core. They've got
That's
good
right.
running backs. They've got a great defense. Like front line, their secondary sucks, but their defensive line's pretty good. But
Minka Fitzpatrick's in the secondary.
yeah,
He's
they're still
He's
struggling.
Yeah.
But
Same as Jamal Adams.
at the minute with Pittsburgh as well, is why they're giving up points. It's like TJ Watt, who's their best player on defense, isn't playing. They're missing two other starters, I believe, off that defensive line.
Yeah.
And Big Ben's not getting it done for you. On the flip side, Cincinnati, I mean, that
Super
Burrow and
positive.
Chase connection,
Super positive.
Yeah.
that looks great. And you know what? They're going to go into Jacksonville.
It's looking all right that they didn't pick the offensive tackle like we
Penarsul,
like we killed
Once
him
again,
for.
Penarsul hasn't allowed a sack or a pressure this year.
Yeah. And Rashawn Slater's been bowling out as well. He only threw the ball 18 times on the weekend.
Yeah.
Just didn't have to, did he?
Didn't have to, nah. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 172 yards.
Helps
Joe
that
Mixon went for 90.
Mixon,
It helps that Mixon's back and they're not having to use Bernard.
Yeah.
Correct. I think
They're-
that's the main thing.
You
it's the
can see
balance.
positive signs with them,
Yeah.
can't you? Yeah.
You can certainly see upside,
Well,
and that's all you
they're
ask.
going to win this week and they're going to be 3-1.
Yeah.
I am
Pretty
seriously worried about Pittsburgh. Like,
Crazy.
I don't think there's any way Big Ben can be their quarterback next year, the way he's
Yeah.
going.
Nah.
And there's just nothing there in the
He
draft.
signed
for
his
them to
contract
pick
in a
up.
wheelchair this year.
Yeah.
Next year, if he signs, it'll be from a coffin.
Makes
I
you
just
wonder
like-
a little bit, like all
makes
the
me-
preseason hype was like Big Ben's back and he
it
looks
was
great.
great.
It's like it's all hot wind, isn't it?
Yeah. I just, like, I don't know. I'm really worried about him. I reckon next year could be 10 times worse.
Father time's real for Ben.
Yeah.
He hasn't been drinking what
Very,
Tom Brady's
very
been
real.
drinking.
No, apparently not. I don't know what the hell Brady's drinking, but it's good stuff.
Mm.
Cleveland Bears hosted Cleveland Bears. The Cleveland Browns hosted the Chicago Bears.
I don't mind the Cleveland Bears.
Yeah, it's just a little
Anything's better than the Browns.
little crossover action, but it was probably a very, very dirty day if you're a Chicago fan. Those stat lines that were popping up. I mean, Schnaz, you can run us through a couple of them,
look,
but
to be honest, let's not touch on Cleveland here. Cleveland did what we knew they would do.
Yeah.
Their
hang
defense
on.
was
Garrett
great.
had 4.5 sacks. We've got to touch on that.
probably
Gotta
leads
give
into
him his-
Touching it correctly. Had a great segue going.
working his segue.
So their defense was great off the back of Garrett and Clowney, who had 6.5 sacks. So they were at one point in the game, I think it was in the fourth quarter, your man, Justin Fields, was sacked more
Not my
times
man.
than he had completions.
It's not my guy.
You've been calling for him.
Anything's better than the old red rifle.
well, apparently.
Apparently it's not. But I
So
mean,
he-
really,
he
they were never going to have a good day. The Bears.
So what did he have? He had 7. I believe he had 7 completions on the day.
He had, give me 2 seconds. He had 6 completions on the
6
day for
completions.
68 yards,
Yep.
and I think he was sacked 9 times.
9
for
times.
67 loss yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
It doesn't really
Crazy.
get much worse than that in the NFL.
I mean,
Schnaz.
we didn't expect a great day because we
No.
do know how good the Cleveland defense is, but I think these are the words I said to you. It could not have gone any worse
Yeah.
for him.
No.
for a
couldn't
young
really.
kid chucked into the fire, we toyed around with him starting, and he would have had Donald and Floyd and all the rest of it in LA. He ended up copping
I almost think
Garrett and Clowney.
you've almost got to put him back to the bench, bring in Foles, and just sit, learn, develop, because he is the most
Mate, this-
raw of the quarterbacks.
That's when
that came
that's
out.
when Foles' time to shine. When he comes off the bench, third stringer, here I come.
You
Are you saying watch this space?
No, I'm definitely
Bears
not.
for the playoffs.
I'm definitely not saying Bears for the
Yeah,
playoffs.
Pump the brakes.
One thing you would want to
Don't
watch.
cut that, Blaze, so that it makes it look like I say
No,
Bears.
definitely. Well, I'll try. I'll see how we go.
Kareem
But-
Hunt had like 150 yards.
He had a
from
good day.
scrimmage.
Had a good day.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think when it comes to Justin Fields, and probably the last thing I'll touch on here is that you just don't want to shatter this guy's confidence and mental state before he gets going in the league.
I mean, we saw how it went
Who
for
they got?
Trubisky.
Oh, they got the
Yeah.
Lions.
You just got to be careful, and maybe you've got to coddle him for a little bit longer
Do you
before
give
you.
him a bounce back opportunity against the Lions, though?
Oh, no, probably doesn't get
But
any
imagine
better
if it goes worse against
Yeah.
the
If
Lions.
it goes worse,
than your GG.
Oh, dear.
people are going to be calling Trubisky the GOAT.
Well, that seems a stretch.
Well,
Yeah, it's
got him to
definitely a
he
stretch.
got him to the playoffs twice with Matt Nagy's offense, and no other quarterback can get it going.
Well,
Is Trubisky just copying hate for the sake of it? I don't know.
maybe it was Chicago.
No cap.
Well, well, if Josh Allen goes down, we'll find out real quick.
Hey, look at him preseason.
He did. You might be onto something there.
All right,
big
let's
guy.
move on.
I'm not subscribing to it, but you might be onto something. Baltimore got it done against Detroit. A bit of a scrappy affair. But the main takeaway here was the record-breaking leg of Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
66.
66 yarder.
So he's almost kicked it from his own end zone.
got the multi over the line.
And
66-yard
Loves
doink as well.
Yeah.
got the friendly
Off the
doink.
crossbar.
Got the friendly doink. But they do move on. And I sent the picture to you boys in the chat of that bloke somewhere in the States who is getting tattoos for every win Baltimore get this season. So far, obviously, the Chiefs end scoreline. And now he's got the uprights and Tucker's 66 yards. So
And now he's got 2 tattoos to go with his 2 brain cells.
He's going to have more tattoos than brain cells come week 3, 4.
look out. But no, they're going along all right at the moment. They're not.
I reckon you'd have to say a Detroit 0-3. I think they are.
Yeah.
They are on.
Yeah.
They'd have to be probably the unluckiest 0-3 team at the moment. I
Yeah,
feel like they haven't played that badly.
played
They
with
were
heart.
pretty good at the Niners.
They looked good in the
for a
first half
against the
against Green Bay.
Packers, and now they've been
Arguably should have won this game
they've had
because
a game
any other
stolen.
kicker.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
the Cardinals kicker as well.
And
Yeah.
they missed the delay game on the play before.
Yeah.
They hiked that ball like 2 seconds
Or
after
didn't they
it
hit
went
like
out.
a 4th and 20 or something
4th
ridiculous?
and 19, yeah.
So
They're very unlucky.
Baltimore have been playing Monopoly and bank and get out of jail free cards.
Yeah.
And they've used 2 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer this is going to last.
Yeah, that's true. So that I was kind of saying they're going along. So they're
Yeah.
not going great guns. They're not setting the world on fire, but
I
they
think
are winning. and
Cleveland would
that's
have
all
to
we
be
can
big favourites for that division at the moment.
ask. I think
they
so.
look far
I think
more
the Browns look
compelling.
more complete, don't
Yeah.
they? New Orleans at New England in a bit of a
Your guy.
Tell
Tell us about your guy.
I'm hopping off. No, I'm not hopping off crab legs just yet. But
Yes, he's back on.
he continues to win.
All he does
he's
is
still
eat
getting
nuts.
he's still going to get his jersey.
No, so all right for the fans.
Mm.
The Jersey Cartel reached out today and he said, "I haven't actually ordered that yet. Do,
Yeah.
you want me to put it on ice and you can change your
Matty Ice.
not a Matty ice."
I'd be getting
He put it out there and said, "Do you want to move away from crab legs,
Mm.
the Black Saints jersey, which is what I was going to go with?" And pulled the trigger.
Nice,
Yeah, said,
nice.
maybe not on
Loves
this
it.
one just yet. Might need to see a couple more games.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, there's not a lot to take out of this once again for New England. For New Orleans winning. Like,
Yeah.
crab legs doesn't do much. They get the win. But New England, Mac Jones looked like he came back to the pack a little bit with the rookie quarterbacks. He had the 1 touchdown pass, but he had the 3 interceptions.
Mm.
And, I mean, going into one of the biggest games in the team's history since Tom Brady left, the return of the GOAT. The pressure's going to be on him this week to perform well because
time.
we all know Big Bill Belichick.
okay.
I don't even think he's that big.
No.
It's not like Rex Ryan or anything like back in the day.
A
But
little bit round.
it is Andy Reid's round.
Cop that, Bill.
Ended up in hospital too, poor bloke.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't take a loss well, much like Slammer. Getting back to it though. Not a good performance going into one of the biggest games of the year for New England.
No. Mac Jones not looking good at the moment.
He's also another bloke who's a bit round.
Yeah.
Said it.
He threw the ball 51 times.
They
That's
they were-
asking him to do a lot.
My guy
And he was their leading rusher.
My guy James White was pretty much inactive. So
1 for 6.
That's to be expected for old.
Jeez, your blokes in
okay.
this game.
Didn't have a great week
Huge
for my
suckies.
blokes, to be
Yeah.
honest. This is Tyreek Hill comes to mind straight off the rip. Arizona at Jacksonville, continuing to roll on. The Cardinals here got the job done in a game. Obviously,
Yeah.
they were expected to get done.
3-0 Cardinals.
31-19. So where do the let's go 2 sides of the same coin here. Let's start
Okay.
with Jacksonville.
Mm.
Now they're obviously 0-3. Trevor Lawrence has been, you'd say, underwhelming, but his situation is deplorable.
Situation's terrible. I've watched
So-
his highlights individually, Blaze. He is clearly still the best rookie quarterback to come out of this
By a mile.
class.
It's,
By a
it's
mile.
not even close. It's
He's
not even close.
He's not like Peyton, prime Peyton Manning couldn't make these Jags look
Yeah.
good. Like some of the throws he's making when they actually do score or convert on 3rd downs and things like that are insane.
It's insane. Yeah.
Like
It's 100%
the
correct.
bloke can play, and sometimes he's probably trying to do too much
Yeah.
to try and keep them in ball games. But I don't know.
You feel for him.
Like it was 22 or 34.
yeah.
That's like 75%.
And some of the passes and the touchdown pass that he threw, he's got the pick. One of the picks was just a
one of the
blatant
picks
drop.
was just completely unlucky. Like
So you can look
You're
at the
gonna have-
stats all you want.
yeah, you're
but
gonna have picks when your receivers can't catch.
Stats do lie.
They
Sometimes.
do. Well, I mean, look at Jalen Hurts. Had like
Yeah.
270 yards on the weekend.
Yeah.
We know how that really went.
He was nowhere near
But
it.
Trevor Lawrence looks good. Like
Yep.
I think all the Jacksonville fans can see that too.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
just got nothing around him, and he's playing with like lead balloons on his feet.
Yeah.
He's pulling like the other 11
Lead
men on the
balloons.
field with him.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely. I think that's a great analogy.
To be fair, like it's probably a good thing though.
Yeah.
Get
Get a
high
high
draft
pick again.
picks.
Just keep
Get-
getting the picks.
Get some offensive line help. Just because now you've got your quarterback. You can just go in there and take best player available, and they're going to have high draft picks in the second and third rounds. Cash some in, maybe get 2-3 first rounders or something like.
Yeah, take 2 O-line and take a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Get a weapon next to Chark there and build a room that you might actually be able to use.
On the other side, Arizona.
Correct. Yeah. So Arizona, they roll on 3-0 here, tied the top of the AFC West, the NFC West, and really they come up against the Rams this weekend. And it's going to be a real battle there. But this game, I think it's just a matter of them just putting the foot down, isn't it?
How's this, Blaz? DeAndre Hopkins had 3 catches for 21 yards, and Kyler Murray still threw for 316.
Yeah.
AJ Green, 112.
Old
Christian
time.
Kirk, 104.
Yeah.
You've genuinely
They're
on that
dangerous.
Arizona team have 3 receivers who could get 100 yards any week.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, where do you send where do you send your Jalen Ramsey to when you
Yeah.
play against them? Does he go to
Or you
AJ
help
Green?
help
Does he go to
defense
Hop?
over the top. Yep.
Like,
Even Chase Edmonds had 7 catches.
I know their offense is ridiculous. I mean, the thing I like about their offense, which has sort of evolved since the first year, is Kyler's not running the ball.
Not as
He's
much,
becoming
no.
a pocket passer, which you have to be to succeed in the league.
Yeah.
You look
Doesn't
at
have to run as the other.
No.
thing.
No, he only runs when he has to now.
Yeah, exactly right. He's running to escape and he's just, taking
He had
yards.
7
he's not
for
putting
19,
himself
yeah.
in danger. But that's the big change that I have liked in his game, because you look at all the elite teams that win the Super Bowls and contend in the playoffs, they all have elite passing quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The dual threat
Well,
quarterbacks,
that's-
besides Lamar, haven't had much success of late.
The 28 of 34 is what you see out of that, isn't it? Like, he's making
Yeah.
smart decisions with the football, not trying to do too much, nothing crazy, no, like, insane throws on the run, things like that. They're deadly.
They look good.
That's absolutely right. I think as far as they go, they beat everything put in front of them. Like I kind of mentioned, they'll get a good chance
And I think this
to prove it.
week 4, they go into
LA.
Into SoFi Stadium.
Rams.
and they play the Rams, and that's a huge game.
Yeah, and if they win that, then it's like, well, I was going to drop the F, but they're right there.
Oh,
in
that'd be
contention
serious if they won that, yeah.
there. They've arrived. Your boys, Schnuzzy, Buffalo host Washington here.
Let's go through this one quickly.
Yeah, easy.
Not a lot to talk about in this one. Buffalo did what they should have done. The concern for mine is, and I think we touched, Slammer and I had this discussion last week, is the football team's defense is supposed to be, their staple, their bread and butter.
Yep.
Hasn't played out that way. They've given up 43 points. Slammer, you want to give us some stats?
None of them had a sack. Not one of them got to the quarterback.
Which is their bread and butter.
That's their bread and
That's
butter.
the
They're not going
line
to win
that's-
any games if they're doing that.
And
Like,
obviously,
Heineke's okay, but I don't think he's...
you're not going to win
I don't
many
think he's
games
the
if you cock
yeah.
up 43 on defense.
Well, you're not going to win many games if you're asking him to score 35.
Yeah.
They need to be keeping teams to 20.
Good read.
Like,
Strong read. Denver, much the same here. Just the Jets. I don't know how
Give
much.
us a score again.
I don't know how much lower this can go, but the Denver Broncos beat them 26-0 at home. I don't know what to say, do, or think here.
I got 2 points. So the Jets haven't scored a point for 6 quarters straight.
Yep.
nice, love that. That's a good
Huge
stat.
concern.
Yep.
And then you look at the Denver Broncos and go, shit, they're 3-0.
Yeah.
They beat both New York teams and they beat the Jags.
Yes, all low and 3.
So it's one of those empty calories
It
type
is.
situations. But
They're the least convincing 3-0 team at the moment.
yeah, definitely.
But their defense looks good.
You
They
pay
do,
it.
but
You
they've
pay
played
it.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right. And I mean, we know how the Teddy Bridgewater story goes. We've seen it at the
Yeah.
Vikings. We've seen it at Carolina. I think where was his
Seen it
other
at the
stop?
Saints.
He saw it at the Saints. Not a lot to go into there.
Not much at all. There's a couple of storylines coming out of this one. I think the Raiders beating Miami here. I'll give you the
overtime?
score first. Overtime, yes, 31-28. It did get the guarantee home.
You did get the
which was
guarantee
a
home.
bit touch and go for a little bit
I
there.
was very stressed.
But I think at what point are you saying the Raiders have put it together and are starting to threaten in that AFC?
I will say that, Blaze, on this seat next week if they beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
That's it.
that's
Great.
their benchmark, much like Arizona's.
Mate, that's 100% a great call because you look at them and go, they're playing good football. They beat some good teams.
Yep.
But to be the best,
I'm not sure beating Miami without Tua
I don't.
is
But
a
this
great
is
team.
my counter argument is like without Tua, they probably looked better with Brissett at helm. I don't think
He
they
was
put,
okay, yeah.
I don't think they would have
more
put up
control.
I don't think they would have put up more points than that and played as well as they would have with Tua at quarterback.
To be fair, their defense put up some of the points.
Yeah, I know.
Pick 6.
I know, but I still have no faith in Tua to put up any more points because he's shown nothing in his career today to prove that he's better than Brissett.
Blood out of a stone to get Slammer to talk bad about Tua. But
Yeah, I know.
I'm not that far off what you're putting down.
So
there,
I think
Schnazzy.
Miami looked more controlled, as you would say their offense did. We know their defense is good, and as Slammer quite rightly pointed out, they put some points on the board, but Vegas, they're 3-0 now.
Yep.
They've beat Baltimore. They've beat Miami, 2 teams that we predicted to be above 500 this year. They've got some good wins. If they get the 4th win this week, watch out.
Then you look out.
Yeah.
And they, Derek Carr.
Then you'd say they've arrived.
Derek Carr, the much maligned Derek Carr, is playing. I was going to say above himself, but maybe he's just playing to his level.
No, he's just playing like himself.
And he's got enough around him now to it shine through a little bit.
We were talking off air before about Ruggs.
Yeah, Ruggs is actually having a bit of a breakout year, isn't he? The last 2 weeks, he's had good numbers.
He has. I think he only had like 5 catches for 80 yards, but some of the catches that he makes,
Some of the catches are insane.
they are ridiculous.
And like his explosiveness, like
Well, he was the
deep
fastest.
threat ability is insane.
Yeah.
I've said insane a lot.
That was
Did I say it 3 times?
I mean,
Jeepers.
well-
it's the power of a lithium-ion
Yeah, I was
battery and a
about to
trimmer,
say
isn't
that.
it, Blaze?
well, this year's got the top. It's got the 3 wide receivers. We've got like Waddle, we've got Chase, and we've got Devontae Smith. Last year we had Jerry Jeudy, we had Ruggs, and we had the CD player. I mean, the CD player and Ruggs look absolutely great. Judy's been injured. We haven't seen much this year. But what we're seeing so far out of Chase, he's challenging
Especially after a
all
year
of these
off.
guys as well.
Even Jalen Waddle in this game, I think he had 13 catches in the end from 15 targets, something along those. I know you've jumped off the stats, so you can't double check me. I think it was around that ballpark. You got some concerns if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan here, boys.
12 for 58.
12.58.
What's 12.58?
That's how many receptions he had.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So you don't have to fact check me then. You can just let it roll on.
I was actually more like, oh, here we go. Blaze's fantasy team.
Well, he's in my fantasy team. The Seattle Seahawks here, 17 points, a lowly 17, and they went down to your cousin Kirk, Schnazzy.
I don't even want to talk about Seattle A. They've really given me this shit so far.
You know, it's funny you say that, and we might be in a little bit of synchronicity.
Yeah?
Because I feel the same.
That's a weird word.
I know.
I haven't heard that
I don't think
before.
it's an actual word.
Is it not?
Synchronicity?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
Might not be. I wouldn't have told
yeah.
you, but it's weird.
Synchronicity.
I like it.
No, I'm getting out of that one.
Synchronicity. Is that where are going? No.
Syncicity.
The thing with this, I look at the Vikings, right, and I go, they deserve to win this game.
Oh, we're on syncicity in that one.
They lose to the Cardinals by the missed field goal last week, and then they lose in overtime to the Bengals.
The Bengals, yeah.
They could be 3-0, but instead they're now 1-2, and they've actually done a good job against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Russ probably wants you back. He probably wants Greg Olsen back on the field because they don't have much. Like DK Metcalf looks good, but you cover him or Lockett, and unless they both go off, they're not winning games.
And well, they're the running back they took in the first round a couple of years ago, is it Penny? He's still not playing. He's still injured at the moment. So maybe they'll get a little bit better when he comes back. But I'm really I'm so off Seattle at the moment. I actually saw something the other day about their next 5 games. Like none of them are easy.
Yeah.
Give
Well,
me
you look
2
at the
seconds.
division they've in.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And I think, so here we go. I've got it up now. So they've got the Rams this week. Oh, sorry. They've got the Niners this week.
Yep.
Then they've got the Rams.
Yep.
Then they've got the Steelers, which they'll probably get the Steelers done. But then they've got the Saints and the Jags. So, like, they'll be lucky to win 2 or 3 of them.
2 or 5.
So what's that? That'll make them 3 and 5, 3 and 6. And, like, in that division, I don't think you can afford to be that.
Yeah, it's too
I
far
think
back.
they could almost be a 500 team this year. Like, flat 500.
I'm pretty sure I had them last in the division.
No, we both did, but we both had them above 9 wins.
Yeah, I think I had them 10 or 11. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't look like they'll quite make that at the
It's
moment.
it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be real tight for them.
Have
I
you
know.
noticed how many times he said they could be?
Yeah.
We're going to have to start keeping a could be ladder. Schnauzer's could be ladder.
Like a little ding ding every time it comes up. It's too much work. Once we go full time, perhaps.
Oh, yeah.
On
Let's
the
get
other
the
side-
studio.
Like and share and subscribe to help us get there.
The Vikings. Oh, we got grand plans. The Vikings, on the other hand, our mate Justin Jefferson, who I didn't mention before in the top 3 receivers, had 8 catches for 120 yards and a touchdown.
What top 3 receivers? Their top 3 receivers or the top 3 receivers in the NFL?
No, last year's top 3 receivers
Oh, right.
that came
Gotcha.
in draft order,
came
right?
inside. Yeah.
So
Just quietly, is Cooper Kupp the best wide receiver in the NFL right now?
Pretty close.
Feels like he might be. He's absolutely flying.
Definitely, he'd be in the top 3
Oh,
conversation.
segue.
Yeah.
Would have been good.
Oh, I missed it. I missed it. It was so
jeepers.
clean. So, Cooper Cup's LA Rams, they hosted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they did knock them off in the end, 34-24. Real dress rehearsal for where probably the Rams want to be, beating teams like Tampa Bay at the end of the year.
Who tipped
Weird
the Rams?
game.
Who tipped the Rams? Anyone tip the Rams?
Must have been Greg
I
Olsen.
tipped the Rams.
Yeah, Greg Olsen did.
Get around them.
Thanks, Greg.
Good on you, Greg.
Get around them. That's bad.
Yeah. He's rattling me here. Slav is losing the plot a little
So-
bit.
I am losing the
I'm
plot.
going to bring it home you a little bit, right?
Yeah,
But
straighten
straighten
us
us up. Oh, simplicity.
So the Niners and Packers. So on this game, right? So the Rams started ice cold.
Yeah.
Their first few drives didn't go anywhere, and then I don't know. Was it halfway through the second? I believe they just couldn't stop scoring from there.
Yeah.
Every drive ended in a touchdown. It was crazy. And on the other side, Tampa Bay's secondary just like sign Richard Sherman, do something.
You flagged this a couple of weeks ago, and
Their
it's coming to
secondary
fruition big time.
is absolutely
Serious question, though.
in shambles.
Please make it serious.
Whose 18-year-old soul did Deshaun Jackson steal?
Oh,
The bloke looks like he's 21 again.
He looked fantastic.
Like, what happened to him?
Matt Stafford. As
I
a-
thought, if you'd told me Deshaun Jackson was retired, I would have gone, oh, yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. Because you wouldn't have heard from him for 2 years.
Well, you know
And he
what?
exploded on the weekend.
Slam, Deshaun Jackson now lives in LA.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't steal an 18-year-old soul as much as he's just shacked up with an 18-year-old bird. And it's just revitalised him a little bit,
Yes.
Snazzy, you reckon?
like Shailene Woodley spec.
I can't wait to get to that.
Oh, another segue.
It's actually next.
Shailene Woodley's Packers.
Shailene Woodley's backers. The bearded Jesus-looking quarterback. I was going to go somewhere else. I bailed out. Aaron Rodgers.
No
the
simplicity there.
The quarterback for the Green Bay Packers got it done, 30-28. And if you watch this game, Jimmy Garoppolo threw a touchdown pass to Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah.
Right at the end there, 37 seconds.
37
37 seconds.
He should have gone
left
down
on
at the
clock.
1 yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably would have been smarter.
Bled the clock like another 10 seconds.
Yeah.
It just hurts.
Let's not give him 37 seconds. Let's give him 25 seconds.
And to be fair,
Or let's run 3 plays. Like, if you get stuffed at the goal line on one, fair enough.
Yeah.
We've got another 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Let's run another one. Like,
I know what
no,
you're saying.
Let's score with 40 seconds to go, and they'll only need a field goal to beat us.
Devil's,
Hey, Kyle Shanahan, you're a muppet.
Devil's advocate. I'm going to go.
Seriously,
I
could
wanna
not
go-
everybody watching the TV think that?
Well, if Green Bay had timeouts, then I would suggest then there maybe that's the play to burn some. But they had no timeouts. They had to go the length. Not the length of the field. They had to get into field goal range. It was
That's not
37
how it
seconds. They should have played the
Teams-
outside. It just
teams-
didn't
You
quite
get
work
to go
out.
out of bounds, though. That, like,
Kickers-
you don't need the timeouts that
Kickers
much.
are kicking from 66 yards.
Yeah.
Teams are going for it on 4th down all the time.
Yeah, because
Teams need 30 seconds, and we pointed this out in week 1. We said all you need is 30 seconds to put
Yeah.
yourself in range for points.
Do not
Do not
give
give the other team opportunity.
You get the ball at 25 now.
Yeah.
So, like, so you lose 17. You need 17 yards added on for a field goal. So you only got to get to the 40, and you're kicking a 57-yarder. Most of them can make a 57-yarder pretty comfortably. So you've got to get
2 plays by the sideline and get out of bounds.
So you've
No
only got to
timeouts.
get like 35 yards.
Yeah, but Jimmy G was having a bit of a quiet day, so to get a touchdown on his stat line
But
is pretty important.
My point is, 37 seconds to get 35 yards.
Yeah.
Even without timeouts, is not that hard.
Mismanagement of the game
Yeah.
situation.
It's
is
just
your takeaway.
it's mind blowing.
You've got to go down at the 1.
It's mind blowing.
You've got to go down at the 1 and just sit there.
You
Because
can't afford to give him 37 seconds.
Especially
Not when it's a field. If it's a touchdown, go for your life. Put the points on the board with a man to
Yeah.
spare. But when you only need a field goal, it's way too easy to give up now.
wholeheartedly agree, right? As well, but especially when you're going against one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league
Yeah.
who can put the ball.
We've seen him do it 100 times.
You don't do it against Brady. You don't do it against. You're not going to do it against Rodgers. You're not
No.
going to do it against Mahomes.
No.
You're not even going to do it against Justin Herbert with
No,
the way he
it's all
throws the
went down
ball.
mouth, yeah.
Or probably even Derek Carr at the minute.
Yeah.
But if you're coming up against, I don't know, like Heineke or Heineke,
Then it's like,
or
yeah,
something
okay.
like that, it's like,
Yeah.
but go for it.
Yeah.
How often do you see, though?
Feel the game, take the situation for what it is, and just win. It's not hard.
How often do you see, though, at the end of the game, like even average quarterbacks can drive the field
Yeah.
with 2 minutes to go? Because they play that stupid prevent defense,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, we're not giving up 40 yards, but we'll give you 30 over the middle for free. Like, everybody can get to the 30-yard line in the last 2 minutes because
Not to mention
can't get beat over the top, can't get beat over the top, so they just give you 30 yards.
Not to mention the
mind-blowing.
men with the yellow flags chucking it for everything
Oh,
in terms
they
of
are
defensive
hot
PI.
at the
So
moment. The penalty, like so many times, I've seen that many teams this year have over 100 yards worth of penalties.
you know what's getting
It's
me
just
lately?
retarded.
tell me if we're in synchronicity again here. It's the uncatchable balls that are getting called on defensive PI lately.
There has been some shocking stuff.
It absolutely shits me.
Balls back to the Super Bowl players. So that was crap refereeing.
We got some real concerns with that.
Philly Dallas.
The way that was adjudicated.
Speaking of crap,
this was pus. I mean, the Jersey Cartel, in all his infinite wisdom and football fandom, he did suggest that he had to turn it off because it was too painful for him as a Philly. I was going to say Philly native. He's not a Philly native, but he's a diehard Philly fan.
He would have been fully extended after their week 1 result.
Oh,
and he's been fully inverted in the space of 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And
they suck.
And that's a lot of extending and inverting.
I know, that's a lot of movement.
There's a lot of
seismic activity.
That's a lot of man.
That's a good pun. I like that.
Yeah?
But
no, not yours.
No.
Seismic.
Get with it, mate. Coming back to Philly, right? Jalen Hurts, this is where we talk about stats. What was it, Slammer? 278-ish yards from memory?
That he threw?
Yeah.
He threw for 326, 2 targets and 2 interceptions.
And some of the passes that he missed were horrible. He did not look good at all. Still ends up with over 300 yards. So the pick he threw both picks he threw were shocking. Their defense for Philly looked pus. Like Dallas were running the ball.
They got 80 yards to Dalton Schultz. Enough said.
So,
Like,
I don't know, crazy. Dalton Schultz was like their first touchdown scorer too for Dallas.
he had 2. I was pissed. Because
Jeez.
Amari Cooper had none.
No. Zeke had 2 as well, I reckon.
Yeah, he did. He ran 2. They didn't actually have to do very much on offense because the defense was killing them.
Oh, was it one of the first plays of the game?
Yeah.
And
There was like 21
20
points total in like the first 5 minutes.
And then as well, like the other 7 points that the Philly score was on when they
Yeah, they fumbled, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. It was a bad game.
It was a bad game.
Philly suck.
It wasn't much for the watcher. Dallas Cowboys moved to 2-1 and a firm.
They look alright.
Firm grip on the NFC East.
They look
for sure.
alright.
Doesn't say
I
heaps,
probably
but-
went unders on them at the start of the year. They look alright.
They
They look like they will walk through that division.
I'm guaranteeing it, and you're going to back this up. That they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%. They'll win that division easily.
That's a fair call.
Easily. Well, like the only really because like the Eagles and the Giants both look trash. Like
Washington's
don't
defense.
come Monday, and the only thing that would have stopped it was Washington, and they're not playing like themselves at all. So Dallas are going to have 6 divisional wins just from that. Really,
They could coast in.
they're easily going to the playoffs.
Absolutely coast in. Hey, folks, that's going to pretty much do us. Week 3 review show in the books.
I had a good week on the tips, so can you want to give the viewers the scores?
Absolutely. So Schnazi grabbed 12, I grabbed 11, and Slammer grabbed 10.
Yeah.
So that takes me and Slammer to 31 total on the year. Schnazi just 1 click behind at 30. So it's hotly contested this year. I am on pace.
On
I
pace.
know.
I'm with the
It's
peloton.
weird, isn't it?
I'm with the peloton
Doesn't
early.
feel right.
I've been with the peloton early. Slammer, do you want to take us through your guarantee results as well?
Oh, can I, Blaze?
Yeah, do it, man.
Please. So, if you were following along on the socials, and a lot of you were,
Yeah.
They loved
Very
it.
positive. You
they
love to see.
absolutely loved it.
We almost organised a raid on Sportsbet's Mythical Gold.
I know.
We sent that many troops in.
Yeah.
And they came out with their pockets filled.
So I had Cleveland to win. Can't remember who they were playing. Baltimore, the Bears. Had Baltimore to win, Arizona to win. They played Jacksonville, Denver to beat the Jets, the Raiders to beat Miami, and Baltimore won on that long-ass field goal against the Lions. We had 50 on that for 221 back plays. So if you'd followed all my bets through the year, you'd currently be up $121.
That's good. And it's on 50 bop
50
investment
bucks.
each time.
My guarantee
Yes, Schnuzzy.
didn't quite go as well.
Yeah.
The Panthers at money line, they won. The Titans at the money line, they won. The Browns at the money line, they won. The Broncos at the money line, they won. And the Chiefs.
Yes.
whoops.
And that one hurts
Whoopsie
too.
do.
Really,
You
really
just don't
hurts.
think about it. But on the flip side, the guarantee that Slammer and I are putting together for the
Team
Thursday night
multi.
game.
Yes, the Thursday night special.
If you were following all of our tips, you'd be up 6.5 units.
Yep.
Which
On
at
the year.
$50 a bet is $250 on the year.
Which is huge.
That's straight profit. That's including the investment. So
That's massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And so
So you want to stay on us because if we're going to get our podcast studio,
that's what we're grinding, baby. We're grinding for that. And like I mentioned before, like, share, and subscribe. Help us get there. That's what we're going for. We want to quit our jobs. Eventually.
more than anything.
Someday. Not that we hate them, but we just,
Speak for yourself.
greener pastures. So
throw us out.
that is going to do us. If you do want to follow along for our guarantees and bet slips, make sure you check out our preview episode, which will be coming onto your screens or podcast.
Thumbs up, lad.
headphones sometime soon as Slammy gets a top up right in front of me as we send the show out. However, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and any podcast forum that you do subscribe to. That'll help our show out immensely in terms of growing and getting into living rooms. We might not otherwise. Slammer, for the first time in a week and a half, please.
He's been Slim, I've been Slam. That's Bandwagon Fan. Cheers.